This is how one bad joke shatters comedian ego.
Kendrick Lamar delivered one line on his recent album that sent comedian Andrew Schulz on an all-out crusade to expose Kendrick for being a hypocritical liar that panders to social justice warriors for money and status. However, the more Andrew attempted to attack Kendrick,
isn't it exactly what he does?
he just dug himself a deeper hole that he is struggling to climb out of. It all started in July of 2024 when Andrew hosted the UK podcast duo Shits and Gigs, whose real names are James and Fuhad. The pair are known to share their unfiltered opinions on sex, friendship, and relationships, and although those were large talking points throughout this pod, Andrew kept obnoxiously forcing race into his questions or topics.
Are there black people in the UK that are just black people?
I don't know anyone who's ever known.
What?
Yeah, a guy.
What is he talking about?
Facts. Ever.
No idea.
But that's like, you're asking the wrong guys. Like, that's the whitest shit.
Do they have black ones? Black people love the front like they don't love America, and the second they leave, they be complaining about wherever the they go.
A topic called the Black Girlfriend Effect was brought up and sparked a much larger discussion online, and even Kendrick Lamar chimed in.
Wait, so what does it even mean?
What is the black girlfriend effect? This is
You might not know
You
about
just
this.
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got a buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a
step,
beard
they step their
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the out of it. That's hilarious. I think the black girlfriend effect.
Wow, he's obnoxious, huh?
It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
And that's a sweet question.
We
but-
love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets?
That means white.
Translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
It's very clear that James and Fuhad's description of the black girlfriend effect was to discuss white guys going through a positive transformation due to them settling down with a black woman. But they didn't make this up out of thin air. There was a trend recently on TikTok where white guys showed their transformations, such as elevating their fashion sense, growing out their facial hair, working out, or investing in self-care in general as a result of dating a black woman. It was a wholesome trend meant
Actual trend?
to highlight black women
Come on now.
and inspiring their partners to be better versions of themselves. And in an attempt to be funny, Andrew decided to take the low road of leaning into tired old stereotypes of black women being mean, angry, and physically aggressive towards their partners. Now, Andrew's audience is very much used to him making jokes about other races and ethnicities, whether it be in his stand-up act or on his podcast.
Is that yours right there, bro? Latina? Okay. You gotta be careful with her. You on birth control? Maybe, maybe not. Nah, you need certified yes from them, okay? Don't with that pull-out method with Latinas. You come on a Latin girl's stomach, her belly button just opens up and takes that shit in, dog. Like fucking hungry hippos in there, dog. You gotta come on her back. That's why they call them wetbacks.
Good one, dude.
That was a good ad. That's a Mexican right there. Only a Mexican could whistle like a bluebird.
No oil money, and you're in the Middle East? Israeli? Oh, they don't have any oil. That's the one bad investment Jews have made.
Therefore, he didn't receive much
Who
backlash
actually sits in the front row, bro?
initially, but James
It's just weird interaction.
Fuhad's audience were taken aback by Andrew's persistence to keep the conversation about race. They were also disappointed that James and Fuhad laughed at what they deemed as racist jokes. As an American, this is the most ignorant conversation, hyperfixated on race and keeping people segregated based on stereotypes. That's humorous to these people? So unnecessary. They let this guy run too many black jokes. As a
Wait, is the joke police?
black man from the UK, I'm disappointed, I can't lie. Now, it's important to understand that James and Fuhad are known to be relatively non-controversial. They also have a large female fan base, so to see the two laughing at Andrew, A white guy who's making a joke at the expense of black women rubbed their audience the wrong way. No one's going after Andrew Schulz because his whole shtick is edgy, offensive comedy. He is trying to be inflammatory. You can't shame a guy who has no shame about what he does in the first place. The fact S&G didn't see this coming a mile off is entirely on them. While James and Fuhad felt the heat from their fans online,
They're blaming them for Andrew Schulz's behavior.
they decided to apologize
Good
for
one.
not checking or reprimanding Andrew for his insensitive jokes.
First of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
And fight or flight is a real thing. When you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down,
Yeah.
I would smack homeboy in the face,
Yeah.
I would say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Yeah, bro,
literally
move
all
on is
you
the
wanna
fucking word, bro. All you want to do is move on. Just move on to the next
Yeah,
thing.
unless you could say something. Come on, no?
Just move on to the next thing. It is our duty to protect you
You're
guys.
just saying this after all the podcasts, bro.
Facts.
And it is definitely not cool to be in that situation. And again, not be the ones to stand up and kick the cameras down. And we f***ed it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again. And it's about being human. It's about realizing that you don't know what you're prepared for. You
Was
don't
he reading a script?
know how to prepare for something
you don't
that
know
you don't
about.
know what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
And once it's happened one time, you're like, all right.
You learn from your mistakes, and that's literally
That's literally,
you
bro.
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, we
man.
f***ed it and we're sorry.
You
and
definitely do apologize.
Some of their fans felt that the apology was genuine. Sure, they laughed at the joke, but Andrew should be the one to blame as he is the one who actually made the joke. Others felt that the apology was insincere and that they still didn't properly acknowledge how hurtful these jokes are to black women.
As black women, we get beat down by every demographic, everybody.
Okay, now they just cringe
Everybody's
now.
beaten on black women. Behaviors like the ones that these two have expressed and the ones that we all have experienced in our lives, they are hurtful. It makes us sad. It makes us angry. It makes us feel alone. And I think that it's important for us to use that kind of language in these kinds of conversations, because actions like what happened in this podcast, it's important to talk about how much this hurts, because it doesn't just hurt us as individuals, it hurts the black community.
Interestingly, Andrew used their apology to remind the world that he had no intentions of apologizing.
Any listeners here that are upset at us, we just want to let you know that you're going to stay upset, okay? What we're not going to do is sit here with our tucked between our legs apologizing on the podcast for jokes.
Andrew then proceeded to react to and mock James and Fuhad's apology.
How many years have we been doing this?
6, 7.
The past 7 years, where I've been saying that your people f*** mud,
Yeah.
and you've been saying that my people f*** sheep.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've protected either of our people.
You know what? You're right.
Wait, so who's actually saying these things?
You're right. And it's our duty to protect people.
Scottish people, I just want to say that I apologize to all of you for letting this mud say we
Scottish people, I apologize that you're all so ugly that you have to sheep. I apologize for that.
It's our duty to protect people.
Andrew's co-host, Akash, then proceeds to speak on behalf of black women.
Oh, we have black female fans. I appreciate them so much. They must be so hurt by this. They're not hurt by this. You don't realize that. You start feeling empathy for people that don't feel bad, that weren't hurt.
No black women were offended. The stereotype Andrew said is that black women are angry. Why would they try and stand up for themselves when y'all would just say, yup, look at how angry they are. That's black women for you. It's impossible to fight or debate with someone who really
He's just nothing bugger at this point.
feels that way. You called them abusers, bro. They're not engaging with that nonsense. Akash and Andrew explaining the feelings of black women, many black women who are fans definitely canceled them. Whether it actually has an effect on the mass of their fan base remains to be seen. Also, I'm the only black woman I know who watches Flagrant. The podcast wasn't noticed because y'all don't have a large black women audience. somehow the clip went viral and more black women were exposed to it. There's this phenomenon that happens with podcast comedians today where criticism is intertwined with cancel culture, and comedians use it as a defense mechanism to essentially win every argument or justify their behavior. A comedian's job is to tell jokes with the goal of making people laugh. On stage, if they make a bad joke, people won't laugh.
No one's laughing at the playground podcast
Even
or
in
whatever.
extreme situations, they might boo the comedian. This is commonly referred to as bombing on stage. When a comedian is bombing, do they start having a TED talk about how they are actually funny and they're just joking and that the audience needs to stop trying to cancel them and chill out? These are just jokes. No. They finish the set and they learn how to make their material better. Today, when comedians like Andrew Schulz get backlash online for bad jokes, they turn it into a think piece. They start casting blame on others for not laughing or understanding the joke. It's because you don't get it, or oh, this is just cancel culture. And this is especially more common on podcasts because while stand-up is often written and more carefully crafted, podcasts are usually unfiltered conversations that go on for hours, so you're bound to miss a few times. You're bound to tell a few bad jokes, and that's normal. But for Schulz, considering his right-hand man Akash laughs every single
His whole stereotype is blaming on black people, so
time Andrew breathes, you can see why Andrew must think that all of his jokes are crushing with his millions of viewers. You can watch Andrew get a reality check in real time when Shane Gillis straight up told Andrew his joke was
he's not in touch with reality, basically.
not funny, and Schulz immediately started blaming Shane for being politically correct.
Bro, Shane actually has been working out, dude. This is fucking crazy.
Let's see it. Hold on.
That's crazy.
Oh, no, this clip.
Oh my god.
Bro, you look good. Is this from West Point?
That actually is.
Oh, nice.
You guys, and you know what?
That's his rival's profile picture.
Shane, can we click the video? I just want to hear the sound. I just want to hear the sound.
It's a zoo.
So funny, dude. Jesus.
Nah, you look great, dog. Congrats.
I don't think that's funny.
But yeah, I see that. I see why. I see.
I don't know why they laugh at that. But
Like, you don't get it, you mean?
No, my guy's nice.
By the way,
that's wow.
these guys are awesome.
Yeah,
They're having fun.
yeah.
For you guys to sit here and be like,
Wait a minute.
let's bring it up and mock them. That's fucked up, dude. That's a dude.
We're mocking
By
you. Yeah, yeah.
using them as an insult.
Using.
Yeah.
We're using you.
So you're insulting
what is this guy on about?
them by saying I look like them, or
We're
you're insulting me
you.
by saying I look like them.
This is you back in your victim thing.
No, I'm not being a victim. I'm saying the jokes you're doing is not. It's not like.
It's not PC.
That's not cool.
You know what's really great?
Triggering.
You're making fun of these guys, these Down syndrome dudes,
Yeah.
putting out TikTok videos.
Now, it doesn't seem that Shane was actually offended. He was trying to just be contrarian for the sake of comedy, but Andrew's reaction was very telling. He was genuinely bent out of shape, getting loud and aggressive towards someone who didn't just mindlessly laugh at one of his jokes. This is exactly how Andrew would react when Kendrick Lamar addressed his feelings towards Andrew's jokes about black women in the song Waxed Out Murals on his new album, GNX. Kendrick rapped, "Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law." This single line, composed of just 12 words, absolutely derailed Andrew Schulz. He established war on Kendrick Lamar. Andrew starts off his response by essentially calling Kendrick, and all other rappers, hypocrites.
Rappers are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women, so we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more.
What is this dick sucking guys doing?
Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo, y'all need to switch that shit.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? Be more like us and, just ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I beat my bitch with a stick. What? You can lick on the so suck the dick. I beat my bitch with a stick. What?
Now, there is no argument against
What is he yapping about?
generalizing much of popular rap music as misogynistic. For decades, hip-hop artists have reduced women to nothing more than sex objects, often referring to them as bitches, hoes, and other demeaning words. Now, I'm not saying Kendrick Lamar is completely innocent of perpetuating this behavior in his lyrics. However, he is not necessarily the poster child of disrespecting women in his raps. Kendrick has often called out his own hypocrisy. He has shined a light on how his trauma defines him and keeps him in cycles of perpetuating this behavior. It doesn't justify it, but discussing and self-reflecting can allow him to learn from his past and try to do better in the future.
This took a while for me to grasp the concept that all women are bitches, all women are hoes. You get what I'm saying? But when I was 16, 17 years old, that's what I was saying. You know, all of them the same, you know what I'm saying? So it took time to...
So he was deeply hurt by women?
For me to
Is that
realize,
it?
damn, my mom's not a bitch. My mom's not a hoe, my little sister is not. So now I gotta distinguish, you know, right from wrong.
But Andrew takes it a step further and says that because Kendrick has collaborated with and celebrated rappers who often disrespect women, that makes him just as guilty.
Go back to talk about Drake, how he's a deadbeat dad, while you do songs with Future.
Rapper Future is often referred to as the
So is he saying that people can sense?
toxic king, and has droves of lyrics that minimize and disrespect women, such as, anytime I got you girl, you my possession, even if I hit you once, you part of my collection, or think I might pull out my D and I
Well, I actually thought he was going to say about Kendrick Lamar.
pee on her.
What is it? On other rappers?
Kendrick collaborated with Future this year for the first time on a song called Like That. Unsurprisingly, Future's verse is all about having his way with women. So while many people see this as Kendrick being hypocritical, others say that just because he's not perfect doesn't mean he can't try to send a positive message.
Kendrick is a rapper. Kendrick decides he wants to stand up for black women for whatever reason. What essentially came back was, you're not qualified to stand up for black women because of look at you, because you are with a cohort of people, rappers, who in the past have been bad to black women. That argument is used anytime black people stand up for themselves in any way.
Sure.
Because there is a purity test that black people have to pass before they defend themselves.
Of course.
That is a way to keep them from defending themselves. To equate a black person with the worst version of what you feel a black person is culturally is a way to say, as long as you're with that, you can't say anything about what we're saying, right? Kendrick ain't never made bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Kendrick has never said any of that stuff, but he is a rapper. Rappers say those things. He is inherently connected to the worst lyrics amongst his industry because he is with them. So he's not good enough to want to defend black women. That trick bag, whether or not Andrew knows it or not,
he knows,
has been used decade after decade after decade on black people.
Schulz also falsely claimed that Kendrick threatened to remove his music from Spotify in 2018 when a hateful content and conduct policy was enforced that removed R. Kelly, XXXTentacion, and others from Spotify editorial playlists.
Are you saying that Kendrick Lamar put it on wax that he is protecting black women from white comedians' jokes, but not the kidnapping, molestation, and
Oh, yeah.
of R. Kelly? And actually, in reality, he would take his own music off Spotify to protect R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Someone who's kidnapped,
A sexual
molested,
predator.
What is this?
and black women?
Kendrick never threatened to take down his music. It was the head of his label who made the threat, which, as messed up as it sounds, actually has more power
So he's just scalloping the...
over Kendrick's music than he does. His label head, Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, told Billboard, "I don't think it's right for artists to be censored, especially in our culture. How did they just pick those artists out? How come they didn't pick out any others from any other genres or any other different cultures? There are so many other artists that have different things going on, and they could have picked anybody. But it seems to me that they're constantly picking on hip-hop culture. It's not that the label thought that R. Kelly was actually innocent, they just just felt that this hateful content and conduct policy was a slippery slope that could lead to more censorship in music. Andrew also convinced himself that Kendrick needed to mention him for clout.
I didn't want to tell you because you had things to focus
What a
on.
time to be alive where
I was not one of the Asians who said good luck on your special.
I'm just saying, what a time to be alive where rappers got to talk about comedians for clout.
God bless, dude.
Like, we are
What?
up right now.
God bless.
What is this ego, dude?
The biggest story about the album, outside of the album and people enjoying it, was a sub at a comedian?
Kendrick dissed me for clout. How delusional and oblivious can you be, bro? Schulz continues to call Kendrick a hypocrite by pointing out that he has a musical comedy in production with the creators of South Park.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
Oh, that makes
Because
sense.
he appreciates white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah,
I think it's like actual drone, bro.
that's true.
And he would never want to, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, look at his eyes, just
Didn't they have a character
blindly following.
called Token on the South Park show?
Yeah, they do.
Which I'm sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big fan if he's
true.
going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out. Yep.
It is true that Lamar is pairing with the South Park creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, on a feature-length film. The film will depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Paramount film chief Brian Robbins said, "The script is one of the funniest and most original scripts we've ever read, and it's certain to create some fireworks when it hits theaters on July 4th, 2025. And yes, I'm sure you all know, South Park has aimed jokes at black people countless times over the years."
Here we see a black person eating chicken and watermelon, a stereotype that hurts the African American community.
Okay, well, looks like you're gonna get a lot of help here. Category is people who annoy you. Audience, keep quiet, please.
Okay, dude.
Well, 10 seconds, Mr. Marsh.
Well, I know it, but I don't think I should say it.
Now, in all fairness, South Park has made jokes
I
about
mean, this is actually funny other than this skulls thing.
literally every race, every religion, every ethnicity, every gender, every disability. They have joked on everyone equally, which is the exact same ethos that Andrew lives by.
I will say, as far as that line goes, we're going to make fun of everybody. And that's just the reality of the matter. Is everyone gets these
I
jokes.
mean, the thing is, it's just not funny.
That's the ethos of the show. It's the ethos of the comedy.
Maybe it's how he said it, but
We do. In a
it's
second-
just come up as a smug.
You start, and he just might not be aware of it. I don't know if he's doing it to sell records or if he's doing it because he just thinks it rhymes or it looks good, or he's taking advantage of like a viral moment, knowing that we'll react and knowing the internet will react. But the reality is, the second that you make a group protected, everything else becomes racist. You're either racist to that group or you're racist to everybody else. And when you make fun of everybody, that is the one beautiful thing that allows us to kind of come together and laugh at ourselves and each other. I've been very fortunate to travel the world making fun of people, all different race, religions, cultures, to their face, everywhere around the world.
That is a fact.
Everywhere. And they've had an incredible sense of humor about it. They're coming out specifically to see that happen.
However, things took a strange turn when Schulz started pondering the idea of him and Kendrick in a one-on-one fight.
You want to squabble up with Kenny?
No. I mean, here's the thing.
Okay, this actually bit smooth right there.
This is the thing that is kind of funny about it, is like, first of all, Kendrick's people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll f***ing cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy. Y'all do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. And there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love.
It's not that funny, but she's just.
And the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, if it's me.
Well, he's just forcing his luck. How many dollars it pay him, bro?
Kendrick, no, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that
I don't think I would want to live that guy's life, bro.
if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things, we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well f*** you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I let him choose a
Why are you
position.
pulling this picture up, Mark? Why are you doing this?
Look, put up that picture of him and Travis Kelce's girl. Look at that shit.
Oh my God, dude, that's unbelievable.
Yo, I'll be honest. I would go so far as to say, I don't think he could stop most people on the planet from having sex with him. Like, the only reason he got security is to stop people from
Is he living in an old ass time?
having sex with him whenever he wants.
Up until this
I mean,
point,
it's all about power and fame.
Andrew could be seen as rightfully defending himself and making somewhat decent points. However, making a joke that he could and would assault an R-word Kendrick was potentially crossing a line. Meek Mill thought so. He tweeted, "White men saying they'll R-word black men openly is extreme, and then say it's just a joke. Black manhood is not a joke. I seen the same guy saying I was gay on his stand-up. My white friends like, it's a joke. We don't joke like that in the black community at all." O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, simply called him a weirdo for his jokes in a tweet that has 6.3 million views. Andrew replied with "Google No Vaseline" by Ice Cube, basically insinuating that O'Shea's own father has made a song about R-word. The ironic part is that if Schulz Googled what No Vaseline was about, he would have learned that it was a diss track towards his former group, NWA, and their manager, Jerry Heller, who had them locked in a horrible business contract. O'Shea replied, "A metaphor about getting effed business-wise by your manager. It's not the same, homie. He ain't call you a bitch. He ain't say F you, didn't even say your name. And your response was buck breaking. Shit was just crazy." However, others stepped up to defend Schulz.
I mean, he's just
LOL,
insane.
y'all mad at Andrew Schulz but push this tough-ass, no-rules hip-hop culture. Dudes talk about murder, pimping, sex trafficking, smacking hoes, drill shit, etc., and clutch your pearls at a joke. And yes, a joke from the Patrice O'Neal, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Bill Burr type of comedy eras. The culture calls Drake
Don't even compare Bill Burr to this guy. bro.
not like us and drags him for days because he dared to take legal action against his predominantly white label for allegedly using payola to sabotage his career and contract negotiations. The culture then turns around and calls for the cancellation of a white comedian who made a joke and pointed out Kendrick's hypocrisy. Despite the internet raining down on Andrew, he refused to back down or apologize. He believed he was right, and he suggested the reason why he kept the beef alive was because he was receiving death threats from internet trolls.
Death threats to them, death threats to me.
And I was getting death.
Of course, death threats to me. Death threats to me, death threats to my family, telling they're gonna kill my daughter, posting on my daughter's
We
picture.
still haven't posted in
What is this victim Andy
We
again?
haven't talked. I don't talk about it for 2 weeks, right? I go, okay, you saying death threats to all of us? You gonna talk shit about my daughter? Okay, it's up. I'm a your man, right? Because if we saying anything, it's like let's have some fun.
It's still
I'm your man.
It's still funny.
Right?
Sensual
Like,
love.
No, but then we
So this guy is just lap track of Andrew Schulz, I guess.
we're gonna do the molding of his butt. I'm hanging it on the wall.
Schulz tripled down on his comments during a podcast with Charlemagne the God, where Andrew repeated all his same arguments, how Kendrick is a rapper, and rappers promote misogyny, and how he couldn't fight him one-on-one, and how he is a hypocrite for collaborating with the South Park creators.
So the guys that created South Park
Not the Salaman
are
man.
two white guys, and they've made jokes about black women.
Well, they make jokes about everybody.
Oh my God! Hold on. What did you say?
Now, they do have a character.
What did you say?
What's the character, the black character?
Token.
And they do make jokes, like they did earlier this year. They did do the episode about Lizzo. They do make jokes about everybody. Though. Everybody gets it on South Park. And see, that is what.
To be honest, I hate everyone in this room.
You know who you're talking to.
Now, I don't really know what's going on.
Well, if
I don't know.
Everybody gets these jokes.
Okay, that I know.
Everybody. Mustard gets it. Mayo gets it. Okay? Duck sauce gets it. Okay? Curry gets it.
Oh, chill out with the lap track, bro.
Curry gets it.
Oh, you talking about the season?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were talking about Steph or Indians.
I'm talking about Indians. That's Indians. We're doing it for each group of people. Everybody get these jokes. That's the rule.
Taylor, what's the line?
But Kendrick got specific laws.
says never
Kendrick got to
let-
protect women from comedians as long as he's got an album coming out.
I'm just looking for.
Listen, Kendrick's got to stand up for you ladies.
The last verse.
As long as he could profit from it, he got to stand up for you ladies.
Andrew even tried to take
So he's just doing the same thing creating more drama.
Get as far as suggesting that he didn't know the angry black woman stereotype existed.
And I could see what people say you might have been reinforcing the stereotype of
Yes, black women.
black women being angry.
Yes.
But the jokes were the black men.
I didn't even know that was a stereotype.
Black men. Andrew.
Why does he keep saying it then? What?
I just thought you were angry. I didn't know it was like a whole black woman thing. I just thought it was a you to me thing.
Fans were disappointed with Charlemagne pretending that he
I
has
mean, of course.
no idea what's going on.
What is he? I think his brain is cooked.
When he has been a large voice in hip-hop commentary for the past 15 years, and he has co-hosted the Brilliant Idiots podcast alongside Schulz for the past 5 years. Additionally, he pressed Post Malone in 2015 for not doing enough for Black Lives Matter.
What are you doing for the Black Lives Matter movement?
What? I don't know. Is that a serious
I
question?
mean, the guy is just weird. That's all.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Him and Andrew Schulz.
If anything.
Charlemagne has criticized many white rappers for appropriating black culture, as he tends to interpret the behavior of these white rappers as a form of mockery of black
And if his white friends did it, that's alright.
stereotypes. But when Andrew was directly making fun of black people, he just pretended he had no idea what was going on. The crazy part is Kendrick was actually talking more about people like Charlemagne than Schulz. That's why he's so quiet. And if you listen to the song again, you'll see Kendrick called him out perfectly. The fact that Charla roasts every other white person but quiet about Schulz is crazy. This whole situation is the perfect example of the modern
It's all about the PM, I guess.
day
Who has more money?
comedian's response to criticism of unfunny material. Comedy defenders will remain firm in their stance that when it comes to jokes, everything is on the table. Nothing or no one is off limits. And as a fan of stand-up comedy myself, I do agree with that ethos. Go ahead, shoot your shot. I think we have all laughed at some pretty horrible things. In the midst of all this chaos, Andrew did make some reasonable points. There is a hypocritical nature of people who are casting criticism on Andrew while praising Kendrick. However, what not many people are saying is that simply Andrew's joke was not funny. So he can make all the good points that he wants,
Yep, that's just simple.
but he still failed
That's
to
that.
do his
That's
one
not
job as a
funny.
comedian: make you laugh.
Not funny.